Good afternoon. My name's Jay, and today I'm out here backpacking at Batelle Darby Creek Metro Park, which is a metro park west of Columbus, Ohio. So right beside me here, you can see Little Darby Creek flowing past us. We're going to be walking along this creek for about 3 miles back to our campsite here. And after setting up camp, I'm hoping to do a little fishing back there. Thanks for coming along with me. So the backpacking trail here at Darby Creek Metro Park sets out from the Dyer Mill Trail. So Dyer Mill Trail is a public access trail you can hike anytime. But the backpacking trail, you need a permit to hike. The permit process, getting the permit, really easy. You basically just register online for one of the 4 campsites that are back here. If you want more information about how to register for campsites, where to do that, and the rest of the procedures here for the backpacking trail, check out the link in the description below to my blog or website. I have a how-to guide there on how to backpack here at Batelle Darby Creek Metro Park. So we came that way on the Dyer Mill Trail, and it continues in front of us here, but we're going to be turning off here to enter the backpacking trail. We're about a mile into the hike, and as I indicated previously, this is the portion of the trail that goes back to 2 of the campsites. The other campsites are across the street. So let's talk a little bit about the topography here. Darby Creek Metro Park sits at the confluence of Big Darby Creek and Little Darby Creek. I think more accurately, I guess, is to say that this is where Little Darby Creek enters into Big Darby Creek. So a lot of protected park area here around those creeks and the confluence itself. Otherwise, this is Central Ohio, and especially it's the western side of Central Ohio. And if you're familiar with the area, that means it is very flat. And about the only topography or topographical change or features you get are around these creeks. So there are some kind of rolling hills, ravines, and the like, creek beds that you go through here. If you do both loops here and kind of a figure 8 and do a little bit of backpacking or backtracking in strategic areas, you can do about 10 miles here. But it's only about 600 feet of cumulative elevation gain. So very flat, relatively easy trail. I don't know if it's physically possible for a hiker to pass this log and not sit on it. Oh man, yes. Hey, I'm just gonna camp here tonight. Just gonna sit in my log chair. This is just fine. We are almost to camp, and we've made it back to a little bit of a landmark on the backpacking trail. This is, I believe, a Boy Scout camp. I think it's still actively used. I don't know that for sure. But basically the trail continues over that way. If you're going to campsite 4, we're going to campsite 3, so we're going over that way. But as you can see here, there's a picnic shelter And right over here is a porta potty. Definitely walkable from site 3 if you have the need. And I suppose you could use the picnic shelter to get out of the rain or something like that. And here it is. Picnic table, fire pit, 2 tent pads. Back there are some hammock posts. Pepsi drinkers, right? Who in their right mind? I kind of want to lay in the hammock. I kind of want to fish. But before that, I'll just show you around. Tent pad. I really prefer not to use these. They're not supremely level, and they're hard. So I typically just set my tent up in the grass over here. And again, the aforementioned hammock posts. So I do have a tent, 1-person tent that I'm going to stay in. I just brought the hammock to lay in, hang out in. My favorite thing about this particular campsite is this beautiful little access trail down to the creek. All right, so fishing won out as the first activity. Not much of a surprise. I have an ultralight rod here, and I'm going to start here with something very small. This is a 164 ounce trout magnet jig head with the trout magnet little split tail grub under a bobber. All right, so I'm just gonna assume that future me will put together some sort of failure montage in relation to those first 15 minutes down by the creek. I didn't see any fish. It felt like I got some bites at certain times, but I think I was just bumping off the bottom. It's really shallow, and I think we're just gonna have to search around a little bit more to find a deeper hole to fish in. Times when I've been here previously, the water's been a little bit deeper, and so I think maybe that area was just holding a little bit more fish, you know, on that visit. Or maybe I'm just horrible at this. It's probably a combination of both. But I'm going to get this re-rigged, and I'm going to walk over this way and see if the fish are there. Back to the picnic area. The reason I'm back here is when I walked over the bridge, I saw some fish. Looked like maybe a green sunfish or a bluegill. And with the ultralight, that's really what I'm going for, is little sunfish like that. Maybe some smallmouth. But we're gonna walk over to the bridge and see if we have better luck there. All right, my suspicions confirmed. Green sunfish. This looks fishy, right? Bunch of rocks. Hey. Pretty fish. Slightly different spot here. You can see the bridge over there. I think there's a fish under this log here, so I'm going to put this right out in front of it. Would you look at that? It's another green sunfish. there's another one. Thanks, buddy. Little fella. Hey, buddy. Oh. That was either a little bit bigger guy or just super fast fish. Had his Nikes on. Yeah, bigger fella. There she blows. That's our biggest one. Good one to end on. Thanks, buddy. You're a good looking fish. Catch you later. GoPro battery dies right before I catch this guy. Whoo! Smalley. It's a nice one. Let's get him back in the water. Must have casted by a rock, because we caught ourselves a rock bass. Rocco. The tent is up. The humble REI Passage 1. Nothing fancy, but it gets the job done. I did put the rain fly on. It's not supposed to rain tonight, but it is supposed to get down to the mid 40s, and so it will hold in just a little bit of my body heat. Dinner is Peak Refuel, sweet pork, and rice. Delicious. This is a debut for this backpacking trip. This is the GCI 2-can cooler. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to take this out with one hand. Let's do one of these guys. And the test is going to be if this delicious beer is still cold. It's pretty cold. I'd prefer it colder, but we're in the woods and I'm drinking a beer, so I'm not going to complain. Beer number 2 out of the 2-can cooler. Feels chilly. Cheers. Last action before bedtime is to add some water to these overnight oats. All right, I'm in the tent for the night. I am just gonna read, watch some TV on the phone perhaps for a little bit, and call it. I'll see you tomorrow.
Good morning. It is a little after 8 o'clock in the morning. Slept pretty well last night. Got pretty chilly, down into the low 40s, and there's just dew everywhere outside the tent. It's just soaking wet outside. So that has not had me very excited to get out of the tent. But nonetheless, I'd like to try to do a little fishing this morning before I do breakfast and coffee. So I'm going to get up and we're going to go back over to the picnic shelter area and try to catch a fish.
First cast. And another one of these guys. All right, back in the water you go, fella. Two fun trees to show you here. This is a honey locust, and if you can see, it's got these huge thorns on it, and they're on the trunk as well. And then down here, when I was a kid, we used to call these monkey brains. It's the fruit of the Osage orange tree. Green sunfish. See you, buddy. Finally caught a fish by the campsite. It's another of our shiner friends. Look at him. Nice fish. He's biting me. It's a bass. It's a smallie. The smallest smallie. And another smallie. Nice fish. I'm about to try my overnight oats right here. Thankfully the sun is shining directly on my tent and drying it out a little bit. So thank you, sun. So the Delish Oats, overnight oats, cherry chocolate. I don't know if I'd call them delicious oats, but they're okay. Time to make some coffee. Alpine Start. Instant. Gonna make a little fire just to look at while we have our coffee. Cheers. I've hung the hammock. I'm gonna get in here and relax and read for about an hour, and then I'm gonna hit the trail. Camp is broken down, fire is out, and the big old backpack is ready to go. Hitting the trail. Trail snack. I am still about a mile from the trailhead, but I'm about to enter the Dyer Mill Trail, which I referenced earlier as the public access part of this trail. So I don't intend to really do much filming there, so I'm gonna say bye to you now. This was a trip that I really enjoyed. I've done this before. Nothing difficult, you know, physically, just 3 miles in, 3 miles out. But it's a beautiful area, lots of nice forest, and the creeks are great. Caught some fish. I think I probably caught close to 20 fish, various species. For smallmouth bass was kind of what I was hoping to catch here, but everything on the ultralight rod, which is a lot of fun. So I want to thank everyone for watching this, and I'm gonna go home and try to convince my wife to order a pizza. See you next time.